So Xbox have gone and done it. This could be the biggest sale I've seen this year. We have got at least 59 games to get through that can be completed in under 2 hours. And there are so many cheap and brilliant games on sale this week that we're gonna have to split this video again into 2 parts. These are unprecedented times, but to make sure that we do justice to these games, that is just what we're going to have to do. So today we're going to be covering all the cheap games and all those best games, with all the games that can be completed under 2 hours coming in a separate video tomorrow. So make sure you hit that bell notification so you know exactly when we drop that video. But let's waste no more time, let's get into this video and let's check out those cheap games. So we're going to waste no time and we're going to jump straight into all those games that are going to be under the £1.50 mark. And we're starting off with a game that's 90% off at a really cheap 79p. This game is rated 3.25, so a good game as well. And that's Manual Samuel. This is a classic adventure game with a wild twist. After making a deal with death, our hero, the spoiled rich kid Samuel, must survive for 24 hours controlling his entire body manually. From breathing and blinking to driving and working, all these tasks will fall to you. So this is classed as an adventure simulator from Curve Games and Perfectly Paranormal, and will take you around 6 to 8 hours to get the 1000G. Our next game is rated 3 stars, so another good game off the bat, is called Color Symphony 2, also 90% off at 79p, and the story is of a man returns to his world to reclaim all he has lost without knowing that everything has changed since he left. This is a puzzle action platformer that uses the ambiguity of color. Try to eliminate obstacles to find a new path using color. So this will take you a bit longer, 8 to 10 hours for that 1000G, but at 79p this is a serious bargain. Now this one did appear in last week's video, but still 79p at 80% off. Bear with me, The Lost Robots rated 3.25 is another seriously good game. So we got 3 off the bat cheap brilliant games here. Like I said, this is a good sale this week. This is an adventure point and click set as a noir episodic adventure, introducing Bear With Me, an all new prequel chapter featuring Amber's brother Flint and the callous detective Ted E. Bear. The game will take 1 to 2 hours, so a nice quick completion this one for that 79p, and you should have a thoroughly good time with this challenging puzzle game. Our next game will take 6 to 8 hours to complete. It's an adventure puzzle game with 90% off, £1.19, called Pinstripe. Now I've mentioned this one before because this one's rated 3.75, so another great game. 4 games now straight off the bat. This is a great sale as you play as Teddy, an estranged ex-minister forced to venture through the frozen afterlife in search of Bo, his 3-year-old daughter, and her preserved kidnapper. Discover the dark secrets of Teddy's past and confront his sleazy demonic nemesis, Mr. Pinstripe. Explore 6 hauntingly beautiful levels of hell using your slingshot to fight your way through bizarre beasts and interesting puzzles. Definitely sounds like a good game, and at $1.19 definitely worth picking up if you've got that 6 to 8 hours. And we're still not going to be giving you any bad games because this one is rated 4 stars, 90% off at £1.19, and that's Adventure Pals. The Super Adventure Pals series is back in another action-packed story, but this time the stakes are higher and the characters are wackier and the pets are more giraffier, if that was even a word. Now this is a platform game and a sequel to the award-winning Super Adventure Pals. Will take you a lot longer than most of the other games. This one will take about 10 to 12 hours for the completion, but for a 4-star game at £1.19, it definitely is worth thinking about that one. But again, we're back to the quicker completions here with a 2 to 3 hour game, Dear Esther Landmark Edition. Now, this is meant to be an adventure game that abandons traditional gameplay for a pure story-driven experience. At 85% off, $119, this game is rated 2.75, and it's not often we call the worst game so far a 2.75 game. Another 2 to 3 hour game is Monopoly Deal. This one's rated 3 stars, so we're still continuing with some brilliant games here. By publisher Ubisoft, this one's 70% off at £1.19. I'm sure everyone knows the game of Monopoly, but this is now a fast-paced, delightfully addictive card game. Compete online against your friends or the community in this frantic card game, steal sets of cards, collect debts, and be the first to collect 3 complete property sets. Our next game, $125, 85% off, is Worse Than Death. This is another really well rated game, 3.75, a scary action-adventure horror game about a high school reunion that goes horribly wrong. The game will take you 6 to 8 hours to get that 1000G, and another bargain at that $125 price mark. Slender, The Arrival is next, 85% off again at $119. This one's rated 3.25, is a horror survival game from Midnight City and Blue Island Studios, and we continue on with Them Bombs next, 80% off at $145. This game is rated 3 stars and is a puzzle game. Will you keep a cool head and manage to defuse the bombs? One player takes the role of the unlikely hero who finds the bombs and tries to defuse it. The other one becomes the expert who has access to the bomb defusal manual and can't look at the bomb. Together, your goal is to save as many lives as possible. An Evil Existence is next, 85% off at $149. And though we've just completely been going through pure classic brilliant games, this one is actually gonna be our first stinker, only rated 1.75, and it's a survival horror game. In a remote English town of Boatnug, the Hartley household awaits anyone who dares to step foot on their property, occupied by a murderous family with a very dark past. Our next game is Dark Force Campus. This one is $149, 70% off, rated 2.5. This is an East Asia soft game that will take you about an hour to complete and is a shoot 'em up arcade space shooter. So just as a bonus, we're going to throw in a couple more cheap games that can be all have quick completions, with the first one being Caretaker Game. Now this is another stinker at 1.5, and this is an immersive first-person horror experience. You are hungry for truth, and perhaps this caretaker is hungry for something else. This game is 80% off at $159 and will only take you an hour, which is probably a blessing with that kind of rating, to get all the achievements. Another game at $159, 75% off, is Another World 20th Anniversary Edition. This one's rated slightly better at 2.75 and will take you around 2 hours to complete this platformer. And the final game we're going to be mentoring in these cheap games is $159, also The Fall, 80% off, rated 3.25, so we're ending back on a high as we started. This puzzle game will take you around 2 to 3 hours to complete as you experience the first story in the mind-bending trilogy. And we're not going to slow down there, we are now hitting you with all those brilliant games that are currently on sale. Now, not all of these are going to have the quickest completion times, but these are the best games that you can play on sale at the minute. And the first game we're looking at is It Takes Two. Now this is a brilliant co-op style game where you've got to play as Cody and May, two humans turned into dolls by magic. Together, trapped in a fantastical world where the unpredictable hides around every corner, they are reluctantly challenged to save their fractured relationship. Now this is a great game, but it does require you to have a buddy to play along with, as you have to play this in co-op. But if you can find another achievement out there, this is definitely a brilliant game to pick up. It will take you about 12 to 15 hours to get all achievements, but it's definitely worth doing it. The game is currently 60% off at $13.99 and is rated 4.75, though is also available with EA Play, so anybody with a Game Pass Ultimate subscription, you can actually pick this one up for free, but otherwise definitely consider picking up this one this week. And we have another EA game on offer, as is actually a lot of the games we're going to be mentioning this week, and that's the current remake of Dead Space. This one's 30% off at $48.99. Now, the original one was great and the remake has been even better. Now, this is a sci-fi survival horror game that's been rebuilt from the ground up with all the modern tech that was available. It's a really good game, and at 30% off $48.99, it's still on the more expensive side, but if you haven't picked this up or played the original, now is a great time to do so. And this game is also rated 4.75, so these are brilliant examples of some of the best games that are available on Xbox. And our next game is no different. This one's also on the more expensive side at $48.99, 30% off, but that's because it only came out in April, and that's Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, if you're a Star Wars fan, this is a must-get game now, and this is probably the cheapest price it's been since it was launched, so a great time to pick it up. It's rated 4.5 and sees you continue the journey of Cal Kestis. The game will take around 40 to 50 hours to get the achievement, but these are not the hardest achievements to get, so if you're looking for a good game with some easy achievements, this is one to definitely consider. And I'd have to be stupid not to include the next bundle, because the BioShock collection is 80% off at a shockingly cheap $7.99. This game normally retails at £40, and it's down to only $7.99 and includes all the BioShock trilogy, BioShock Remastered, BioShock Remastered 2, and the complete edition of BioShock Infinite. Now, this bundle is rated 4.75. You get all three games, each have their own achievement set, with all of them being worth over 1000 G, and each will take you around the 20 to 40 hour mark to complete, making this a really seriously good investment with three brilliant games. Again, if you haven't played these when they first came out, these remastered have just tightened up the controls, and these are brilliant games and definitely ones that any serious gamers should be checking out. And I just had to include this next game because the N7 in my name comes from this game, and that's Mass Effect the Legendary Edition. Again, yes, you can pick this up with EA Play and you get that free with your Ultimate subscription, but it's currently 75% off for the rest of you at $14.99, and this is three of the best story-driven RPG action games you're ever gonna play. The story is absolutely fantastic. Even with that slightly shocking ending, you will still have a fantastic time getting to it, and if you haven't played it, then pick this up. Where have you been? Because these are seriously the best games that you're ever gonna play. And again, at $14.99, it's a steal, and with a total achievement of 2,915, the 100 hours you'll put into this game will be well worth it. And we got a couple of Telltale games also on sale this week. The first one being Tales from the Borderland. This was probably rated by many as the best game that they ever made, other than maybe the Walking Dead series, rated at 4.5. And this game is 25% off at $11.99 and will take you about 8 hours to get all the achievements. And the other Telltale's game on sale this week is the one that really got me into Telltale games, and that's The Wolf Among Us. In my opinion, this one has the best story out there for Telltale games, and it's based on the award-winning Fable comic books by Bill Wellingham, and is a dark, often brutally violent and mature take on characters and creatures in fairy tales. Again, this one will take you about 8 to 10 hours to get the 1000 G, but you'll thoroughly enjoy this story. It's currently 50% off at $5.99 and is rated 4.25. Now we have four slightly quicker games for you completionists on sale as well that are also rated really good. The first one is Little Misfortune, 65% off at $5.85. This one's rated 4 stars, is an adventure point and click, and will take you 2 to 3 hours to get that 1000 G. Now this one has just come back into Game Pass, but if you haven't again got Game Pass, it's currently 75% off at $2.24, and that's Limbo. Now this game has won many awards, has got perfect scores from many reviewers, and is definitely one to be checking out at such a cheap price. It's rated 4.25 from fellow achievement hunters, and the game will take you that 2 to 3 hours to get the 1000G. Another game that's in Game Pass is Inside, made by the same people as Limbo. Again, really well received by reviewers. This puzzle platformer is 75% off at $4.24, is rated 4.25 and will take you about 3 to 4 hours to get the completion. And another game that I seem to put on many a list is The Last Campfire. This game's always on sale, and this week is no different, 80% off at $2.39, rated 4.25, will take you that 5 to 6 hours to get the completion for this adventure puzzle game. Well, that's the first part of our video over. We have gone through all those cheap games, and there was really quite a few of them this week. You've got a great selection of games out there, and there are so many AAA and quick completion games with those high scores that I'm sure everybody will be picking up hundreds of games this week, and we haven't even got to the second part of the video yet, where we've got 59 games to go through, all of which can be completed in under 2 hours. This is definitely the biggest sale that I have seen in a very long time, and I can't wait to share with you all those games coming. So make sure you hit that bell notification so you know when we drop that video, and whilst you're there, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and leave us a comment below letting us know if you'll be picking up any of these games that we've mentioned so far. Well, until we drop the next video, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.